Hello students, how are you? I hope that you all are fine and safe at home. Yes, you have already learned some of the grammar concepts in the previous class. Now, it is the time to take your language skill to the next level to understand the aspects of different types of sentences. Therefore, today I am here before you to discuss about active voice and passive voice. Before I start, let me tell what is voice. So, voice is the form of the verb that shows whether the subject of the sentence does something or something is done to the subject. So, now what is voice? Voice is the form of verb that shows whether the subject of the sentence does something or something is done to the subject. So, voice is the form of the verb that shows whether the subject of the sentence does something or something is done to the subject. Now, I will write few sentences on the board. Just observe those sentences. He reads a novel. Now, I will write few sentences on the board. Just you observe those sentences. He reads a novel. They have watered the plants. These both sentences are in active voice. Now, when we change into passive voice, a novel is read by him. The plants have been watered by them. Say in those sentences, if you observe these first two sentences, he reads a novel, they have watered the plants. So, in these two sentences, if you observe, the verbs reads and have watered express the action done by the subject, he and they respectively. Okay. So, here if the action is done by the subject, the voice is in a active voice. If the action, a subject of the verb is done the action, the voice of the verb is in active voice. And next, these two sentences, a novel is read by him, the plants have been watered by them. So, if you observe these two sentences, here the novel subject, the plant subject in this sentence, and is read, and here have been watered. So, those verbs is read, have been watered. See, those verbs express the action done on the subject, a novel and the plants respectively. So, here the subject of the verb receives the action. This subject receives the action. So, here this is voice is in a passive voice. Here the voice is in a passive voice in these two sentences. Now, let me tell some of the general rules of the passive voice. See here, first one is the object of the active voice is made the subject of the passive voice. Next one is the subject of the active voice is made the object of the passive voice. The passive voice must contain the third form of the main verb. The form of the verb is used according to the tense. Now, last one is the preposition by is used in the passive voice. See here, for example, he reads a novel, she sings a song. So, in this example, he reads a novel, she sings a song. See, if you observe in this example, these both sentences are in a active voice. So, here this is subject, he is subject, reads, verb, a novel, object. So, here when we change from active to passive, the first rule is the object of the active voice is made the subject of the passive voice. So, this is the first rule. So, when we change from active to passive. So, here he reads a novel. So, when we change into passive voice, a novel is read by him. So, when we change into passive voice, a novel is read by him. So, here first rule, the object of the active voice is made the subject of the passive voice. So, here this is subject, this is object. So, here object becomes subject, subject become object when we change into passive voice. So, here this object becomes subject here and this subject become object here. Okay. And second one is the subject of the active voice is made the object of the passive voice. See, if we take this example, she sings a song. So, a song is sung by her. So, here same thing here, the object of the sentence become subject and the subject of the sentence become object. So, here third rule is the passive voice must contain the third form of the main verb. So, here this is main verb. In this sentence, reads is main verb, we call it V1. Okay. So, here this when we change into from active to passive, so this main verb becomes third form of the verb. So, is read here in this sentence, sung, sing became sung here when we change into passive voice and reads become read when we change into passive voice. Now, last one is the preposition by is used in the passive voice. See, in this example you can see that he reads a novel is read by him. So, when we change into passive voice, we use by, preposition by. Even in the same thing in the second sentence, a song is sung by her. So, preposition by is used in the when we change from active to passive. Changes in pronouns. So, when we change from active to passive, we have to observe some of the changes in pronouns also. See here in active voice, if we use he, she, it, they, I, we, etc. Say same thing in the passive voice. If in the subjective case, if there is a he in the active voice, when we change from active to passive, it becomes by him. This is passive voice. Okay. So, in the active, in the subject, if there is a he, when we change into passive voice, it becomes by him. See, if there is she in the active voice, when we change from active to passive, she becomes by her, by her. If it is it in the passive voice, by it in the passive voice. If it is they in the active voice, it becomes when we change from active to passive, they becomes by them. If there is I, first person in the active voice, see when we change from active to passive, it becomes by me. Same thing here, plural, first person plural, we, if there is a we becomes by us. So, once again I will repeat, say if there are pronouns in active voice, in subject, see if there is a he, when we change from passive voice, from active to passive voice, he becomes by him, she becomes by her, it becomes by it, they by them, I by me, we by us. So, here this is first person. If there is a second person you in the subject, when we change from active to passive, this you become by you. Now, let us discuss about formation of a passive voice. Now, let us discuss about formation of a passive voice. Before I start, I will start from simple present. Okay. Now, let us discuss about formation of a passive voice. See, we have to see the structure of passive voice. What are the changes occurs when we change from active voice to passive voice. So, we will begin with the simple present tense. Simple present. So, active voice, subject, the formula is subject plus V1 plus ES or S plus object. So, I will write here short forms of those subjects, verb and objects. Okay. S means a subject here, V first form of the verb plus es or yes plus object. So, this is active voice. So, when we change into passive voice, the formula is object plus is or am or are plus V3 plus by plus subject. See here O is object plus is, am, are helping verbs plus V3, that is a past participle form of the verb, main verb, and by plus subject. Okay. So, example, I will take one example, that is he writes a letter. Example, he writes a letter. So, this is in active voice. See here, he is a subject and V1, that is first form of the verb, and object. See, this is object here. Okay. So, this is V1, this is a subject. Say in this example, he subject writes first form of the verb, a letter is a object. So, when we change from active to passive, say if you want, you can see this formula structure. See, this is object plus is, am, are helping verb plus V3, that is third form of the verb, and by plus a subject. So, in this example, he writes a letter. If we take this example, when we change from active to passive, a letter is written. This is write, it is the past participle form is written. A letter is written by here subject he is there. When we change into active to passive, he becomes by him. So, a letter is written by him. This is simple present affirmative sentence. Okay. When we change simple present affirmative sentence, formula is subject plus first form of the verb plus es or s plus o, means object. Okay. When we change into passive voice, subject to become object. Here object is, am, are helping verbs plus third form of the verb plus by preposition and subject. Example, here he writes a letter. When we change into passive voice, a letter is written by him. Okay. Now, let us see simple present negative sentence. So, what are the changes occur when we change from active to passive? Before that, let us see the formula. Here simple present negative sentence. Negative. See, formula is here, yes, subject plus do or does plus not. See, here we have to add not. Why? Because this is negative sentence. See, do or does plus not plus V1 plus object. O means object here. So, this is a active voice, subject plus do or does plus not plus V1 first form of the verb plus object. See, when we change from active to passive, the formula is here object is, am, are plus not plus V3 plus by plus subject. So, this is object plus is or am or are plus not plus V3, that is a past participle form of the main verb, and plus by plus yes. Yes means here subject. Okay. See, same example I will take. He writes a letter. See, he does not write a letter. So, this is active voice, simple present negative sentence. He does not write a letter, active voice, it is there in active voice. Now, we have to change from active to passive. So, you know the formula. First, you have to write object. From subject becomes object when we change from active to passive. Therefore, here a letter is object. So, you have to write a letter is, because this letter we have to use is. Why? Because this is a third person singular letter. So, a letter is not here write. So, what is the V3 form of write? Is written. V3 form of write is written. So, we have to write a letter is not written by, here he is a subject. So, here when it comes by him, when it comes passive voice, by him. So, now a letter is not written by him. So, according to the formula, we have to change from active to passive, that is a letter is not written by him. This is if the sentence is in a simple present negative. So, what are the changes you have to do? So, here you can see the formula subject plus do or does plus you have to use not because it is a negative sentence plus V1, that is the first form of the verb, plus a object. So, when we change into passive voice, it is subject become object. Here object is or am, are plus not plus V3 past participle form of the verb plus by preposition we have to use, then subject. This is the example for that. He does not write a letter is not written by him. Now, let us see simple present interrogative sentence. In the simple present interrogative sentence, what are the changes occurs when we change from active to passive? Let us see through the formula. Simple present interrogative. So, the formula is it is an interrogative sentence, therefore, we have to use do or does. Do or does plus subject plus after subject first form of the verb plus object. So, here and next there should be a question mark. Why? Because it is a interrogative sentence. In interrogative sentence there should be question mark. So, do or does plus subject plus first form of the verb plus object. See, when we change from active to passive, here we have to see is or am or are plus object plus V3 form of the verb plus by plus subject. So, is am plus object plus past participle form of the verb V3 form plus by preposition plus subject. Say for example, I will take the same example, he writes a letter. See, if we take interrogative sentence, it becomes does he write a letter? Does he write a letter? So, you should not forget to put question mark because it is interrogative sentence. Does he write a letter? That is in active voice. So, when we change from active to passive, here is a letter. Write V3 form is written. Is a letter written by him. Okay. Is a letter written by him, that is passive voice. When we change from active to passive, so it becomes is a letter written by him. Now, let us see present continuous. Okay. See, first we have to see the formula. See, if the sentence is active voice, so what is the formula we have to see? Here subject okay, subject, am, is, are helping verb plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object, because we have to add ing. Why? Because here this is simple continuous tense. Okay. See, when we change from active to passive, it becomes object, is, am, are plus being plus V3 plus by plus subject. Okay. See, object plus is, am, are helping verb plus being, we have to use being here in present continuous, and V3 past participle form of the main verb plus by plus a subject. Okay. So, if we take the example, he is writing a letter. So, this is active voice, it is in active voice, sentence is in present continuous tense, present continuous active voice. He is writing a letter. So, when we change from active to passive, a letter is being, being, being V3 form of write, that is written by him. Okay. A letter is being written by him. This is present continuous tense, present continuous affirmative sentence. Okay. Present continuous affirmative sentence. Now, let us see present continuous negative sentence. Present continuous negative, negative sentence. Okay. See, here the formula is subject plus is or am, are plus not plus V1 plus ing plus object. Okay. Subject plus is, am, are plus not plus V1 plus ing plus object. So, this is a present continuous negative active voice, present continuous negative active voice. Now, when we change from active to passive, the formula is object plus is, am, are plus not plus being plus V3 form plus by plus subject. So, if we take the example, he is not writing a letter. So, this is in active voice, he is not writing a letter. So, when we change from active to passive, so we have to see this formula object. First there should be object, object is a letter. So, we have to write a letter is not being written by him. Okay. So, this is present continuous negative. Formula is subject is, am, are plus not plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object. So, when we change into active to passive, formula is object plus is, am, are plus not plus being plus V3 form of the verb plus by preposition plus subject. Example, he is not writing a letter. So, when we change into passive voice, a letter is not being written by him. Now, let us see present continuous interrogative sentence. Present continuous interrogative sentence. So, here we have to see the formula first, is or are, am plus subject plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object, then question mark. So, is, are, am plus subject plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object. So, when we change from active to passive, it becomes is, are, am plus object plus being plus V3 form plus by preposition plus subject. So, here is, are, am plus subject plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object. O means object here. This is active voice. So, when it comes to passive voice, is, are, am plus object plus being plus V3 plus by preposition plus subject, then there should be question mark because it is interrogative sentence. So, if we see the example, is he writing a letter? Is he writing a letter? when we change from active to passive, it is a letter being written by him. Is a letter being written by him. So, this is passive voice. So, here active voice, is he writing a letter? This is an active voice. When we change into passive voice, is a letter being written by him. Okay. Now, let us see present perfect tense. Present perfect affirmative sentence. See here, formula is subject plus has or have plus V3 form, V3 plus object. So, this is active voice. When we change from active to passive, the formula is object plus has or have plus been plus V3 form plus preposition by plus subject. Okay. So, here this is the formula, active voice subject plus has or have, you have to use here, plus V3 form, that is past participle form of the main verb and object. Here when it comes to the passive voice, object has or have plus been plus V3 form plus by plus subject. So, this is present perfect affirmative sentence. Example, he has, because this is he is third person singular. So, we have to use has. He has V3 form written a letter. He has written a letter. So, this is active voice. So, when we change from active to passive, we have to write a letter has been written by him. So, when we write passive voice, a letter has been written by him. Okay. Now, let us see present perfect negative sentence. Present perfect negative sentence. See here, formula is subject plus has or have plus not plus V3 plus object. Okay. So, here this is negative sentence. Here subject has or have plus not plus V3 form plus object. So, when we change from active to passive, here you have to write object plus has or have plus not plus been plus V3 plus by plus subject. See, if we take this sentence, if we take this example, he has written a letter. Say if it is a negative sentence, he has not written a letter. Example, he has not written a letter. Say this is present perfect negative active voice. Okay. He has not written a letter. So, when we change from active to passive, a letter has not written by him. Okay. He has not written a letter, that is in active voice. When we change from active to passive, a letter has not written by him. Okay. Next, let us go to present perfect interrogative sentence. See here, the formula is has or have plus subject plus V3 form plus object, then question mark. Has, have plus subject plus V3 form plus object. See, when we change from active to passive, has or have plus object plus been plus V3 form plus by preposition plus subject. Okay. See here, if we take this example, he has not written a letter, this is in negative, this is negative sentence. If we same example, if we take in as an interrogative sentence, that is, has he written a letter? Okay. Has he written a letter? Here, when we change from active to passive, it becomes has a letter been written by him? Has a letter been written by him? So, this is passive voice. Okay. Now, we have to discuss present tense, in that a simple present, present continuous and present perfect. In that simple present negative, interrogative and present continuous negative, interrogative, as well as present perfect negative and interrogative. So, we have discussed those things. I hope you understood those concepts.